Good morning and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I know I have been absent for a couple of weeks now and I sincerely apologize to you guys after promising that I was gonna do like a couple of videos a week, but life got a little bit hectic. And I know I should be making excuses, but I was also in the process of moving houses, which, moving can be a pain. It's a lot. And I came over here with 2 luggage and I slowly built that up and I realized I had a lot more to move. We're all settled in now and we are also officially in week 5 of prep. So far we've been dropping pretty well, making sure that I'm holding the booty, and yeah, I have been enjoying this process so far. It's been at least a couple of years since I've competed, right? And I really want to bring the ultimate package. I've been putting in the work. I've really been focusing on the detail that was given to me for feedback. The goal is to get the Olympia qualification and, fingers crossed, I'm just going to push my hardest. I already know that I've been in my last package and that's what matters the most. So I'm gonna bring my best and then we'll see how we go from there. I've obviously missed out on a little bit, so my cardio at the moment has increased. I'm doing cardio 6 times a week, 3 days of 45 minutes and 3 days of 35 minutes. Everything is just steady state at the moment. So the way I've structured my cardio is on my heavy leg day, I won't do cardio on that day. And then I do the rest of my cardio on the other 6 days. And recovery wise, it's been working really well for me, but I'm also mentally feeling a lot better when I'm going into my heavy leg day. It is Sunday morning and I was up till about 3 a.m. last night and we've got about 4 hours sleep. So I'm definitely feeling a little bit of that, but not too bad. Not too bad. And I know I'm big on sleep. I always preach of how much people need the recovery and the sleep. Now, recovery I've been on top of. Sleep is still part of recovery, but I have not been on top of that as much. I'm a little bit guilty when it comes to sleep. The max amount of sleep I would get is about 6 to 7 hours. That's a good night for me. So this morning I'm gonna go to the gym. I started my morning off with some coffee, did some work. I got ready, and then now I'm gonna have like an official meal. I actually had a Genius shot to start though, and I'll show you guys. People have been asking me, what this shot is like. It is one of the best things ever created because I am someone that struggles getting like all of my food down, and this has definitely been helping me. I'm pretty good at starving and I'm pretty good at shredding because I don't mind starving and I don't mind not eating so often. Mentally, it's not a huge battle for me, which is why like these Genius shots have come in handy because my calories are still a little bit higher right now and I do struggle getting like 6 to 7 meals a day. I could have like 3 meals, but then the volume of that would just be way too much for me, which is why I spread it out. And sometimes I spread it out and I also don't finish it. So these have come into good use for my daily. I've been having this first thing in the morning. So I have my coffee and then I have this and then I have a proper meal and then I'll probably have another one post training. Digestion wise, it's been great and it tastes amazing. As my calories start to cut, I will start getting more hungry and then I'll probably resort to more food. But this is super convenient to bring around. It's TSA approved, so it's super convenient to bring around if you travel, and obviously there's going to be travel involved when I'm competing. So this is going to come in handy and I will bring this along my journey here. This is Othello, guys. This is, okay, he wants to steal a show. Othello! Excuse me. Okay. Alright, he just wanted to show himself. No, don't touch my weight. Don't. No! Othello! No! Good. Stay there. Oh my god. Now don't judge me. I order my groceries. I have days where I just can't be bothered going to the shops. I got a lot of stuff to do, so it's just that one extra thing. I love online ordering so much because it's so convenient. But I got some pickle, got some guacamole. My coach gives me macros and I just pretty much put my own meal plan together. Very consistent with my meal plans though, so I'll be given a set amount of macros. And if I stay on those macros for a week or 2 or however long, I will stick to the same meal plan. I don't change things up too much. So consistency is always there regardless. For food. Show you guys my stack. For food, I am with Live Well Nutrition, and they have been absolutely amazing for this prep so far. I have ground turkey, I've got some sweet potato, some chicken breast, white potato, some jasmine rice, and I also had some swai. Is it swai or sway? I'm gonna say swai. Had some swai fish. That tasted so good. The seasoning that was on that was absolutely amazing. And I also had some ground beef. I've gotten through the food pretty quick because it is so delicious. I'm so happy with my food every day. Like, I look forward to all of my meals. My meals, I am not one that is super fussy when it comes to flavor, which is why you could see that, like, this is my joy. Guacamole and some pickle. Your girl is happy. Pickle is the key to my heart. I've been getting this guacamole because one of my friends was using a squeeze, and one day I was like, you're just using a squeeze bottle, and it just saves so much time. Now there's a few little extra ingredients, but at this point with the calories that I'm on, it's totally fine. I got plenty of room for it. Me weighing out my food. Okay, so we got, I'm gonna bring this up a little bit. Let me get a bowl. Okay, so we're gonna measure out, I feel like some ground turkey right now. So we're gonna go ground turkey. Just use a fork. Okay. So ground turkey, I'm gonna go about 100 grams. Everyone uses ounces here. 100 grams and ounces, I don't know what that is, but it's 100 grams anyways. I've been trying to use ounces a bit, but it's just not me. I'm too used to grams. All right, so sweet potato, I'm gonna go, well, I was gonna go 50, but I'm gonna go 65 because I scooped that out. And then we're gonna go for some basmati rice. Basmati, sorry, this is jasmine rice. Okay, now for jasmine rice, I'm gonna go another 60. I'm gonna go another 65, just so it's even with the sweet potato. Okay, that's what I got so far. We got some ground turkey, we got some sweet potato and jasmine rice. After I heat this up, I'm gonna squeeze some guacamole on the side, and we're gonna have some pickle as well. Now, note all of these side things are also counted in my meals. So I'm gonna chuck that in the microwave. Oops, I dropped some rice. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this camera up. Okay, so I'm gonna chuck this in the microwave now. And of course, I'm gonna have some Dr. Pepper. I have been into my root beer ever since coming here, and I remember when I was young, I never used to like root beer. It just really grew on me, and then everyone's like, root beer is so good. And one of those things, like, you know, when you're really hungry, there's a certain food that you don't like, and then when you're really hungry, you end up having, sometimes you don't have a choice, and then you eat that food, and then you end up loving it because you ate it at the moment where you're so hungry, and you got to understand the goodness of that certain item. So that's kind of what happened to me and Dr. Pepper. I initially hated Dr. Pepper, and then I was so thirsty one of the days, and all there was Dr. Pepper, and I don't like water. So it quenched my thirst so good that day, and I was like, I think this is my new favorite. Absolutely obsessed with it. Just done. Need a little bit more. Okay, let me get that just a little bit more, guys. Man, I bang a lot in this kitchen, don't I? Okay, I'm gonna put a little bit of seasoning on this. This is my favorite sugar-free sweet chili sauce. It is so good. There's also another one that I really like that they sell at Smith's. So one serve of this is 30 grams. Honestly, I don't even do that. So 10 grams of this is like good enough. It's just to make things a bit moist. And I really love sweet chili. And then we're gonna put some salt. This is a Sicily salt lemon naturally flavored. I'm just reading the title of this. It's like a lemon salt, but it is so damn good. So now we're gonna add some guacamole. When you wear white is when you make the biggest mess, and then you wear black and you make no mess on yourself. Okay, it's all ready to go. So one serve of this is also, I'm pretty sure it's 30 grams as well, but I don't even use full. So I'm just gonna go 15. That's half a serve. Now macros on these for 30 grams is 4 fat, 3 carbs, and 1 protein. So half that because I only went half a serve. And then we're gonna have some pickle. I realized I got the sandwich dill chips. I normally get the, I'm pretty sure it was hamburger ones. I think these are just a little bit thinner. Okay, I'm struggling opening this freaking jar. Okay. Scared Othello there. Sorry. Okay, one serve is 28 grams. So one serve. All right. So that's about 3 pickles there. They're all different sizes, so you know when it comes to things like this, you want to weigh it out because the different sizes can make a difference in the macros. I'm gonna have some food now, but this is like perfect time for a little bit of storytelling. I first started my bodybuilding journey. I started off really strong with my, I'm about to show off now, but when I first competed, I won all my divisions, and I ended up getting the overall as well. And then I got my pro card in my first season of competing. Now that was back when I was with the Natural Federation, which was back in the day called INVA, which is currently called ICN in Australia. Then I stayed in that federation for about 2.5 years. About 3 years actually. Yeah, nearly 3 years. And then, hey! Okay, one of the kitties is doing zoomies right now. Loving life. So I started off with getting my pro card in my first season, and obviously starting strong. You know, you got expectations from there. You don't know what it's like to get second or third place or no placing at all. And I remember my very first pro show that I did, I ended up getting second place, and there were quite a few girls in this show, and I remembered how like sad and cut up I was because I got second place, and everyone was like congratulating me when I got back, and they were like, Shayna, second place is absolutely amazing. Do you know that? And I was like, no, like I wanted first place. And then, you know, as time went by, I realized how great it was to even be on that stage and even receive a placing, because there are people that don't walk away with placings as well. But even with those that didn't walk away with placing, I seen a lot of great packages, and I looked around, I was just like, why didn't this person place? Why didn't that person place? And, you know, when I was new to the bodybuilding scene, there was a lot of things that I didn't understand. And then I got to understand, you know, the category. I also learned that I could push harder. Over time, I did. And if you are new to your bodybuilding journey, you know, there's still a lot more to learn. You've got so much to grow from, and this is what the sport is about. It's all about becoming better and growing and really understanding the criteria that you need to hit. And I realized I had so much more work to do, and then I decided to go into IFBB. Now, when I got into my IFBB journey, so I placed first in all of my divisions, and then I got second to the overall winner. And again, I remember that feeling. I was like, oh, so close, but it just wasn't it, you know? And like, I have a competitive nature, so it was only natural for me to be pissed off for the moment. But then I realized I was so close that I need to do this again. You know, I assessed over what I could do better. I had a breast augmentation that season after, and my plan was to compete the year after that. But the recovery of this wasn't actually as smooth as I thought it would be, so I ended up being held back a season. So I was in improvement season for a good 1.5 years before I even stepped on stage again. But I wanted to make sure that this was going to be the ultimate package, and I was like, okay, I got these done. I need recovery to go well. I've taken the time off. I need to make sure that I build. I took all the feedback that I could work on that got me so close to getting that overall win. Now, my feedback was that I needed a little bit more muscle maturity. I needed more muscle, and I needed to be a little bit more fuller. So that's exactly what we brought. I put in my all to that season, and 7 weeks out from my show, I ended up tearing my hip, and oh my goodness, that was like the worst experience ever. I remember like pulling out of it and just thinking like, this is like the sign. I'm not gonna compete. This isn't it for me. I think like it's been obvious that I haven't won my pro card. I remember like just having that loser mentality. I was so grateful for my coach because she made me recognize my strengths and also reminded me of like where I started and how far I had come. But she also believed in me, and just having her believe in me really made a difference with my mentality of the whole sport and what I could achieve. So not too long after, I did decide that okay, I am going to keep pushing for the show. But training lower body was very hard. It was I was very limited to the things that I could do, and the whole recovery process for that was about 7 months. I could not squat with a bar, and I was even lucky that my legs even made it to the show because we were just doing little kickbacks here and there and banded work, and it was painful to pose as well. So I look back. Oh, it makes me so emotional when I like think about it, because I look back and I remember that like I was so close to giving up in that journey. And if I didn't have my coach pushing me at the time and really believing me, and the support system that I had around me, just giving me the positive energy and letting me know that like I have what it takes, I don't know if I would have pushed right through. So, at the end of the day, this is a very lonely game. But, when you have a good support system around you, it really does make a big difference as well. And I was surrounding myself with people that were pretty much into the same things as me. My parents were like so supportive of my sport. Like my parents live and breathe this sport, which makes everything so much better. Othello, that's enough. I'm trying to record. And my coach, my beautiful coach, she really told me that I had what it took. And I really believed in that. And there was so much things I was going through. I was also going through like a really hard breakup. I was going through transitions of changing, what I was doing for my career at the time. And it was hard. It was really hard. And prep was one of those things that really kept me going mentally. And I remember my mindset at the time. I was like, I'm not going to let anything defeat me. Like, this is all a test, and I just have to push right through. I got to navigate through this, and I'm going to get that pro card. So 7 weeks later, I pushed what I could with my lower half, and my upper body was pretty much ready to go. And then I got my pro card that season, and like I cried on that stage, because if I had given up and if I had not believed in myself and I didn't push through, I never would have gotten my pro card that season. And who knows if I would have gotten my pro card, the season after, or you just never know. And I knew that was my time. That was my time to get it, but the mentality, I remember how I felt on that day, because I was in a lot of pain in like my hip. And it was such an emotional journey because obviously I was going through a lot. And I just didn't think it would happen that season. I believed that it would happen, but I also had, at the back of my mind, if anything's going to let me down, it's because I tore my hip this season. This is why I'm like so hard on like my clients and, even my friends that are athletes, because sometimes, life will set you back, and it's really how you push through it. And I really got to learn from that. And, after I even got my pro card, I had numerous life events happen, and life is never going to be smooth, and there's no perfect time to compete. However, when you get feedback and there are things to work on, obviously you want to take the time to build and all of that, which I did. If you've got goals, if you've got dreams, go and chase it, because I have zero regrets with pushing right through. And now I know my capabilities as well. After I got that pro card, I was like, I remember my mindset at that moment was a whole nother level. It was like, nothing's stopping me. I'm going to keep going. And this is my day. This is going to be my year, and I think that's what makes it so much easier for me to motivate my clients too, because I've been in a coach's position and I've also been in an athlete's position. I'm able to relate from both ends. And from an athlete's point of view, so when I'm coaching an athlete, I have to remove myself as an athlete and take the coach's position. And then vice versa, for when I'm an athlete, I need to make sure that I'm not coaching myself. I need to take my coach's advice too. And trusting the process is one of the hardest things. My food is going to get a little bit cold. I'm just going to have like one bite. Oh, damn, that's good. That's really good. But there's no proper purpose of this video today. I actually just wanted to show you guys what my little morning routine is before I go to the gym, but I also wanted to give a little bit of motivation because everyone's got a story, and I wanted to share my story with you guys, and like, you know, where I started and how I overcame a lot of things. And I'll continue to keep showing more in this journey. But that is pretty much the background of how I got my pro card. And, you know, that was already about 6 years ago now when I got my pro win. And now it's all about just making, hey, Kishka. My goal is to make it into Olympia. For my last pro show, I got 3rd place, which I was stoked about. But again, you know, I had 1st place and I had 2nd place in all of my competitive career. That when I got 3rd, I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is just getting worse as I go. But then I realized, no, this is different. I'm at a pro level. Everyone's really competitive. Everyone's ethic is pretty much the same as mine. Our mentality is like, we want to get into Olympia, right? So completely different game. You know, I have to push harder. And now, even after that show, I realized more of my capabilities and my potential. Like, this has to be it. I'm believing that this is going to be it. I know it's going to be very competitive. But I would say that I feel blessed that there are going to be a few shows, you know, back to back in these areas here. I didn't have that luxury back home, so there was a lot of travel involved when it came to flying over to pro shows. But right now, I'm going to take advantage of it. I'm going to make sure that I make the most of it, but also I'm putting in the work to bring my ultimate best package. I'm going to continue having my meal, and then I'm going to go to the gym after this, but that was just a little bit of a motivational talk. I do these time to time. I like storytelling. I like telling people my story. A lot of people don't know my story, so this is why I brought this channel on here. Show you guys what it's like prepping behind the scenes, but also showing you guys what I've been through throughout my journey and how I've gotten to where I've gotten to. But I want you guys to remember that, you know, if you've got a goal, push for it. Really believe in yourself and do not give up. I'm going to do some arms, abs, and cardio today, so it's just going to be a light one. And then we're going to do a heavy leg session tomorrow. So I'm going to record again tomorrow for next week's video. And I'll take you guys through my session, and I can show you guys a little bit of my progress as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week.